Okay, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. watchOS 11.5 Beta 2 just finished installing on our Apple Watch Ultra 2 here, and right off the bat, it was plagued with some weird bug where it would be stuck on verifying the update under your software update screen on your iPhone. Even after it was connected to our charger, like we have on our Anchor Mag here, it would not verify the installation. We ended up having to restart our iPhone and restart our Apple Watch in order to be able to install this update. So automatically, right off the bat, that is not very ideal at all. But beyond that, everything hopefully will remain smooth. We'll jump into that here in a second. Let's go right into settings and look at this build number for Beta 2. If you jump into settings, then general, and about, you can see Beta 2 has a build number of 22T5553D. This is up from the F version in Beta 1, which is always a good sign that we're heading in the right direction. Unfortunately, it's not uncommon nowadays for Apple to go the other way around, and what I mean by that, if you're new to these Apple betas, the closer you get with that letter at the end of the build number to a beginning of the alphabet, so an A or a B build, signifies really how close we are to this becoming a public release. Since we did move in the right direction here, that is a good sign. This is on track, and we should be receiving another beta next week that we'll jump on here in a second. But since this is still a ways away, we will anticipate at least 2 or 3 more betas before this is done. Let's jump right back actually into settings really quick. I want to show you our battery health since it's been a while here on our Apple Watch Ultra 2. Jumping into battery and battery health, and after running a number of betas on this, you can see we are still at 96% maximum capacity, which is not terrible, but keep in mind it is degrading a little bit quicker with betas than what is going on with iOS currently, which is good to see because even on our 16 Pro Max, this is actually still at 100% battery health, which is awesome. So just jumping around like we typically would, let's go into weather and scroll around. Everything seems to be functioning pretty quickly, so that's good to see. Let's go into our Apple rings and see our activity. Yeah. So yeah, nothing crazy here. One thing I do want to call out is in regards to battery life. On Beta 1, battery life was actually really good, and this is common with Apple's betas. Beta 1 and 4, or I should say the first and last betas, are typically the best in regards to battery life, and Beta 2 and 3 and those ones in between definitely leave a lot to be desired. So if we have battery issues or anything else in this build, we will do a follow-up video and let you guys know. But aside from that, again, not a surprise since we're so close to watchOS 12, there's not a lot new here. One thing I do want to talk about though, and we've talked about this a couple times, is actually how underutilized some of these features are, and one of the best low-hanging fruit examples is Double Tap. I really felt like this was a great addition to have, but it has been stagnant, and all of these options here with playback, pause play, and skip, and Smart Stack Advanced and Select, that's what we're limited to, and this has not been updated since it was released. Yes, we got this little option here for ignore double taps if you have an Apple Vision Pro, but that is such a small percentage of the population. Not a lot of people are going to benefit from that, unfortunately, right now, so just keep that in mind. I really would like to see some changes here in watchOS 12. And something else we've been rumored for change in watchOS 12 is that dreaded Siri. Yes, no Apple Intelligence here. Yes, no smarter Siri. However, we are having rumors that in addition to a redesign based on visionOS, we should get some Apple Intelligence features here in watchOS 12. So that makes us even more excited for that release in June. We don't even have any new faces in the face gallery to go off of, and since this is such a closed ecosystem, third-party developers really can't even compare to what Apple offers, and, well, we just can't get anything new in here. So a little disappointing in that regard, but let's talk more excitingly about a release schedule. Since today is the 14th, we are back on our 1 week per beta releases, so we should receive another one the next week on the 21st, probably the 4th on the 28th, and then possibly the final RC on the 5th and public release around the week of the 12th. Again, we're assuming here based on historical practices from Apple, but no one knows until they release it. But it has to be around that time frame because that gives us a traditional couple of weeks gap between a major release, which will be on June 9th, when Apple has already basically told us the keynote for WWDC will take place, and as is tradition, they will show off watchOS 12, iOS 19, and a slew of their other operating systems. So just keep that in mind. Aside from that, again, unfortunately, nothing really crazy, nothing new here. I am hoping to see some massive improvements in iOS and watchOS in the coming months, since we are only really a month and a half away. Let me know in the comments down below, what would you like to see in watchOS 12, because clearly watchOS 11.5 could have simply been watchOS 11.4.1, and we are receiving a 18.4.1 for iOS, hopefully being released tomorrow, but I don't anticipating seeing anything for watchOS in that same manner. So yeah, again, a little bit disappointing. Let me know in the comments below what you think. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.